Ma'am, she is unable to unmute herself. Neha, ma'am is unable to unmute herself.
Neha, ma'am, just click on the mic. I guess there is, you can unmute yourself. The rights are already with you.
Just remove your headset once. Neha, ma'am, just remove your headset. Yeah, just try just like that. Not able to unmute.
Okay, now
Yeah,
it's fine. Now it's fine. Okay. So am I audible to everyone? Okay. So I welcome you all. Good evening, everyone. We have wonderful educators joining our session. And first of all, I want to thank Matthew, sir, for providing us such a great platform where everyone in entire country recognize us. So thank you so much, Matthew, sir, for giving us this opportunity. And you have always been a guiding force for us. You always push us to do something different. So that is why we are all working together. You taught us teamwork. Thank you so much, Matthew, sir, for this. Thank you so much. And I also welcome all the honorable principals who had spared their precious time in joining our session. We hope to wish you and deliver the best part of us. Thank you so much for being here, and all the educators, all the teachers from different schools, from different backgrounds. Thank you so much for joining the session. So let us just start with it. So as we all are aware, just wait for a while, please. Yeah. So as we all are aware that CBSE time and again is focusing on the competency-based education. So it's a very basic thing that we all have already been practicing in our teaching methods, but still we need to improve ourselves for the betterment for us also, and for the betterment of our students also. So that is why we are here with this session, which is completely based on competency based assessment as per the guidelines of the CBSE. So I just want to ask you, can anyone answer me what you can observe from this picture? What you can actually conclude from this picture? Can anyone tell me?
The person is standing. The person is standing in the center can go in any direction, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Anyone else? If you feel interested in talking to us and sharing your knowledge with us.
Yes, ma'am. This picture speaks that a child who is at center, right? He is having in all directions. His thinking and his critical analysis, everything can be expanded in all the directions.
Yes, ma'am. Very nice. Thank you so much, ma'am. And I'm getting all the answers in the chat box also. Thank you so much for participating. Yes, here we can observe that we can say that a child is standing in the center and he can see that the 4 directions are there. So he has to think about that in which direction actually he has to move. And that direction is completely based on his knowledge and his interest. So that is what we can term as competency, in which direction he has to think, in which direction he has to move. And it is the duty of teachers are that how we guide our students to move in that particular direction in which their interest lies. So this is all about competency. Now, whose learning is it actually? Now, is it the learning of our students or the teachers or both? So can you tell me, is it the learning of the student or the teacher or both? Can you please tell me, anyone?
It is both, ma'am.
It's both.
Yes, yeah, thank you. It is both actually. So we already know that learning by doing exercise and learning by doing practice. So it is not only we are benefiting our students, but we are benefiting ourselves also. So it is the learning, the competency-based learning is actually the teacher-centered as well as student-centered. So we have to develop them like that so that we also learn from them and they also learn from us. Right. So another thing is, from this picture, we can say that we have to plan everything in advance, means so that we do not panic tomorrow. So planning tonight, and we should not panic tomorrow actually. So this is actually, we have to inculcate this thing in our students, that how you need to plan, what you need to plan, and in which direction you need to move on. So that is, yes, we have to be well planned. Very good. Nice. I'm getting too much of good responses from the participants. That's, thank you so much, everyone. So we have to plan so that we do not panic tomorrow. This is all about competency. Now, this is a very, very appropriate way to actually start working on. We have to be smart enough. Smart means that we have, first of all, we have to smart in our choices. Like we have to decide that in which direction we want to move, which strategy we want to apply. Everything needs to be a smart rule. Now, this smart rule, and actually one thing clicked in my mind. All of us, we might have been aware of that wonderful Bollywood movie. The name is Three Idiots, right? Am I right? The name is Three Idiots. Most of us have seen that many times. Actually, I have seen that movie many times, and I like it very much. Now, what I observed in that movie is that we should inculcate on students that you should thought that in which direction actually you want to move. Where does your forte lie? If you are a good singer, if you're not good in academics, then that is fine. Then you, side by side with the academics, you can take extracurricular activity as singing. So we need to taught them that you should realize that what is your forte, what is your competency, how you feel motivated yourself. So that is how smart planning is required. Just imagine if Amitabh Bachchan was sent to some corporate in some MNC by his father, that you need not to join Bollywood, and you have to go to a multinational company like Tata and Ambani's. So you must have known that what he should have stand here now. We recognize him as a great Bollywood celebrity. He's a legend actually. So it is because his interest lies in acting. He has those acting skills in them. So this is what we need to push our students for. Not just you do rote learning and all that. It is just their competency, in which their competency lies. So we have to be very strategic. We have to be measurable. And one thing I want to tell you here is that we need to taught our students a goal orientation program. Like whatever you are choosing, whatever field you are choosing, or whatever task you are taking, it should be goal oriented. It's not that like you are doing topsy-turvy things and you're going in that direction. Now you decided to do that, then you skip something in between, and then you join some course, and then you left that course in between. So this is not acceptable actually. So we have to motivate our students to make them realize that whatever you are good at, it should actually be a goal oriented, so that you can move in one definite direction. And obviously it should be time bound also. Like for suppose I'm giving a project on how our parliament works to my children, and they have to create a video for that. They have to create a mock parliament, and they have to form the teams for that. One can be of the Lok Sabha member, one can be Rajya Sabha member. So I'm going to guide them, but I have given some stipulated time to those students that within this time you have to complete your video and you have to show it to me. So first of all, I have to think whether my students are capable enough to do that. And secondly, if they're capable enough to do that, will the time period which has been given by me, is that enough for them? So that I have to think according to the cognition level of my students, according to their brain development of my students. I cannot give the task to class 6 student that you have to organize a play on French Revolution. I cannot do that, because we are very well aware class 6 student is not that much comfortable with French Revolution. So it is according to the cognitive development of the child. Now, yes, I like this picture a lot. So dear educators, can you tell me, do you remember something by looking at this picture? Can anyone?
Thirsty crow.
Yeah.
Thirsty crow.
Yes, it is the thirsty crow,
Story of,
right?
yeah.
It's the story of the thirsty crow. So this story we have been all the time listening from our grandparents in our childhood, that you can see here that how he is actually throwing the stones from his beak inside the beaker. The reason is that he has freshened up his mind. He knows that yes, he's a smart crow, right, Anika ma'am? He's a smart crow. He knows that when he will throw these stones in the beaker, then the water level will go up and he can easily quench his thirst after that. Yes, Sangeeta ma'am, right? Everyone is right. Thank you so much. So this is what competency based is. Our students should have that much of mind that they can use, they can critically think that what they actually have to do. Yes, patience is that much required. Thank you so much. Patience is also there. So you can see the crow has not studied in some school. He has not studied in some university. It is the development of his mind, the presence of mind actually, that made him realize that yes, I can throw the stones and the water level will go up and I can quench my thirst. He is goal oriented, he is smart enough, he know how to plan everything. So this is what we need to develop, this type of habit in our students. This is the smart learning we have to do. So competency, now we can conclude that it is all about something which you are competent at, like problem solving skills, decision making skills. Some is good at doing some vocational training or like that. Some is good in academics, some is good in sports, someone is good in singing, dancing, anything. It can be anything and everything. Yes. So we should motivate our students to think in that direction so that they realize their competency, and we can also learn a lot from them. What is competency? It is something which we can do often in many situations. Means we can do various things. We can do critical thinking by applying our brains. We can organize brainstorming sessions also, so that we are able to gather all the skills, the traits, the characteristics, our experiences also, and our knowledge also to perform a task. And that task should definitely be a goal-oriented task. Plus, we should very well take care of the learning outcomes, what our students have learned from the task which has been provided to them. And we as a teachers, what we can do for our students, it is actually learning by doing with our students itself. So that is for the introduction part. Thank you so much. And I actually handle over the responsibility to my respected teammate, Miss Maulie Ibrahim ma'am. Maulie ma'am, over to you, please.
Thank you, Neha ma'am. So now as it was introduced by Neha ma'am, and now I'm going to take that one step ahead, that how we can involve or we can inculcate competency into social science as a subject. Not only social science, but in other subjects also. But basically, I'll be focusing on social science. So, just a moment. Yes, mentors. Is it visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, it's
Thank
clear.
you so much. Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, what is competency assessment? We are talking about, because CBSE has introduced something like competency. हिंदी में मैं बात करूं तो competency का मतलब है क्षमता. तो नेहा मैम ने हमें समझाया कि competency क्या है. Competency is क्षमता. हर बच्चे की क्षमता अलग है, वो हमें पता है. And on the other hand, in a class we have different competency based students. Now how to bring them together for assessing? I as a learning and much of doing research and all, I feel, this is my personal opinion, that it is more than competency, focusing on competency based questions or competency based assessment. It should be competency based learning. In the prior slides, you have seen about the crow. Okay, the thirsty crow story. So when we are looking into teaching our children competency based questions, let me tell you, it is not 1 year goal, it is not 2-year goal. It should begin earlier, like from grade 6 or maybe grade 5, or take it from grade 1. Why not? Problem solving in as per their level. So how we are, thank you, Neetu ma'am. How we are going to integrate in social science? First of all, before going ahead, I want everyone to pat your back. That is, we as social science teachers, we are doing a very good job. It is not just doing teaching social science, but it is a subject where we can include values. We can make them problem solvers. Yes, we are just not teaching a topic, but we are teaching values, and we are making the human animal into a social animal. If we take into aptitudes, because natural ability to perform a task, every child has to think how he will perform the task. Attitude, what is his or her attitude? That is a way of thinking. It is not in negative terms, in the positive terms. When we give a project, we see that with giving so many brief instruction, we have different types of projects. We have different thought processes. Yes, that is attitude. The skills, that is acquired ability or experience needed to perform the task. The knowledge, information and understanding needed to perform the task. Now, from there to get the knowledge, from how to churn the information and make that things in particular. If we are giving a particular task, how the child is going to get the knowledge, how it is going to process, and what will be the end result. We are focusing on that. Now, key features. What are the key features of competency-based system? Advancement based on mastery. As I told, it's not 1-year job or 2-year job. It is mastery over it. Being measurable. Now, because it is competency, when we are assessing, it's a measure. When we are giving an exam, it is just a measure. Explicit and looking into the cognitive skills. Very meaningful, trying to create a positive assessment. We are not going to look into, okay, बच्चे ने खराब perform किया. We are supposed to motivate them that, okay, somewhere I have heard a story that the child out of 10 got 1, and the teacher gave that child the remark, very good. Why? Then the child asked, ma'am, my 9 questions are wrong, and still you have given me a smiley. You have given me a good remark. The teacher replied, my dear, I have looked only to your 1 question, that out of 9, your 1 question is correct. So the teacher is measuring. Ma'am, please take that annotate right, Tanvi ma'am.
Yes, ma'am, I'm doing that.
Okay. Sorry.
Ma'am, I already taken it, but I guess it's already done. So the person who has done will have to undo it. You'll have to share the screen.
I have done that. I have erased it. Okay. Fine. Not an issue. So as I was talking, the positive assessment. Now, what is critical thinking? We are going to make the child a critical thinker. Critical thinking is clear, rational, logical, independent thinking. We compare it to the crow story. you know, we have all heard about, as I can share, the story of the monkey and the two cats. How smartly the monkey divided one roti into two halves, okay, and how he got his share. Because the two cats were fighting, and who got the reward? The monkey got the reward. So here, we have never questioned our teachers, or we have never questioned the textual part. Neither we have questioned our parents that how did the monkey get that thinking or the knowledge कि उसको ऐसे divide करना है and he can be the problem solver. Have you ever questioned that? Yes, I know it's a story. But if we look into from a different angle, it is from the observation part. It is from the observation part. And that is critical thinking in a logical and independent way. It's about improving thinking. Okay, once I did this, once this student has done this, so next time, how he can improvise. Not only students. Why? As a teacher, if I'm giving a project, okay, this time I couldn't do that.
Sorry, ma'am. I guess there is some technical issue being faced. I have already taken the rights, but I don't know who's working on this.
Okay, not an issue. Let's find it, please.
I'll
Let
make you
us
the
cooperate.
host.
Yeah,
Ma'am,
thank you.
I'll make you the host 1 second and just have a look at the settings one more time.
Thank you.
Because
Sorry.
at my end, yeah, surely 1 second. Huh?
Sorry, mentors.
Ma'am, you are the host now. Just have a look.
Okay. Now, critical thinking is clear, rational, logical, and independent thinking, as we were talking about. And how do we think? Reconstruct. Okay, we have given a project, we have given some questions, it is not working out. Can we reconstruct it? Can we think it in the other terms? How many of you teach in the same pattern as you used to teach in the previous year? Have we not improvised on our teaching pattern? Have we not improvised on the assessment pattern? Yes, of course, we have done that. We have very well done that. Every time we don't teach the same thing. The matter remains the same. Our technique, our pattern changes. Secondly, it is self-management, adaptability and flexibility, attention to detail, stress tolerance, very much important. Competency teaches the child, the teacher, to be patient, how to deal with stress, development and continual learning. It is continuous learning. Ethics and integrity. Now, as the NEP is focusing that we need to teach in the values, we need to inculcate more values into it. Then, and ethics, not just the textual part. Of course, we are supposed to complete the syllabus, no doubt in that. But whenever we are teaching, don't we realize that, yes, this value we can always put in. And if we are doing that, we can earn each other's trust and respect through consistent honesty and professionalism in all interactions. You may experience that whenever we are teaching and we are just doing the lecture pattern, the students are not interested. The time we are taking into a project, or we are taking into a task, everyone is involved and we create a bonding with the children. Going to the next slide. Personal effectiveness, build trust, optimize relationship, improve communication, and resolve conflict. These are the 4 things that we can cater to if we are going as per competency-based learning and then assessment. As Neha ma'am said, that it is two-way. It's not only for the students, it is also for the teacher. Analysis, reasoning, creative and innovative thinking, decision making and judgment, mathematical reasoning, problem solving. These all things we have already discussed. This is what competency is focusing on when we are doing learning. Understanding. The main part, has the child understood a particular topic or what you have taught? And what is his or her understanding? When we are like in the previous years before the pandemic, we used to go for a tour, or we used to take for a particular visit, a social visit at different places. But that is that remains open-ended if we don't close that chapter. Means if you are going to a visit, okay, बच्चों क्या दिखा, ये दिखा, वो दिखा, okay, जब सिर्फ बोल दिया, and then if we don't take from the students, that children write down, what did you understand, what you liked, what you should put into it, or what things you can improvise in it. What would happen if you will be in that particular place? These all things should be drafted into a question pattern, maybe a MCQ pattern, or just a brief question answer session. Now we have the Google form, and the child is supposed to write, and you will get n number of answers. That will be beyond our thoughts, and such beautiful answers. Understanding. With understanding only, evaluation takes place. Knowledge. How much the knowledge the child is having of the particular topic. Comprehension. Is he able to comprehend? Is he or she is able to apply, analyze, synthesize, evaluate? Most of the time when the child is at the home front or in a daily routine, the child is doing that. We only need to make the child realize. ठीक है, घर पे बहुत सारे प्रॉब्लम्स होते हैं, तो कभी बच्चा अकेला होता है या कभी वो सिचुएशन में होता है, तो वो बच्चा सॉल्व कर ही लेता है. मम्मी नहीं है तो मुझे खाना कहाँ से लेना है, मम्मी ने बोला होगा कि फ्रिज में से, बट फ्रिज में से लेके मे बी द चाइल्ड इज हीटिंग इट अप and very carefully the child is doing it and having his or her lunch or snacks, whatever. Isn't it a small problem solving? He has to look into, or she has to look into so many factors into it. Yes, this is all because in school we have taught that we should be careful, or by the parents it is taught that we should be careful from fire while we are working with the fire or electrical gadgets. So that the child is putting in. These are the tasks or the main points which the competency is looking into. Linguistic, language, of course, vocabulary improves. Strategic, we need to strategize. The child also need to strategize their techniques. Then socio-linguistic. One is the child learns to communicate, because maybe we might have asked that go to a particular person and ask few questions. So we are throwing the child from a comfortable zone to an uncomfortable zone, and the child is able to deal with that. Then discourse. Understanding how ideas are connected through patterns of organization. That is, ideas can be organized sequentially by importance, by comparing and contrasting. conjunctions and or because. This is English, but language is something, or if you say Hindi also, language is something which comes in all the subjects. And we are actually taking care of it. Communication. Another feature. It communicates the language ability components. If the child is bargaining for a particular thing, that is a ability, that's a skill. Taking the cash, giving the cash, or talking to a stranger and dealing that tactfully, or a resource person, a host, a guest, then this is all the competency wants the child to acquire. उसकी क्षमता हम बढ़ा रहे हैं उस बच्चे की. It is very important. Why CT is important? Why we always say that why again and again CBSE is changing the whole pattern, or why CBSE has to put something new to it. It has been launched this year, where it is mostly focusing that the questions, whatever you are teaching, should be competency based. Then, my dear friends, let me tell you that this is something which, when the child moves out of the school or the college, is going to face. In the interviews abroad, the child is given a situation or asked that describe and let me know that in a situation you might have faced, how did you tackle that, or how did you solve that? It's a lifelong learning. Then collaboration, autonomy, the ability to work independently, not to depend on others every time. Multi-perspective thinking. I have two options, or I have to do two things at the same time. Multitasking, doing it on the computer also. It is a skill. And focusing on the employment. Making the world a better place. As I told you before, social science, basically, we are looking into making a better human being. Yes. And in this pandemic situation, how many of us have not come into different problems and resolved it without even knowing that what to do, but we have found a solution. Why? Because we know few things and we have attached that things to the particular problem and tried to find out a solution. Somewhere we have learned that no lock is there which is not manufactured without a key. Then how can a problem be there without a solution? It's just that we find out a solution, which is best to our choice. The definition, as Richard Rogers says, competency-based education focuses on the outcomes of learning. CBE addresses what the learners are expected to do rather than on what they are expected to learn about. The diagram that you see, this is of the previous era, where it was the Gurukul teaching, where the Guru is directing and the children are learning it, taking it. Okay. The previous time when we used to learn also, it was the same. The teacher says and we take it. We do not have any exposure to any other knowledge. But now it is learner director. The teacher is in the center and we are processing and giving it back to the student as per his competency. Now, I have a sample question in competency-based assessment questions. In detail, Monika ma'am will be taking care or taking it further, but I have a simple question. that I will be showcasing it just now. This is a sample question. This is from grade 9. A label, a advertisement. Now I have given this as a question to my students. Now what does a simple question is framed in? What does the advertisement of Lipton tea suggest? So the child has to look into the picture and give his or her thoughts. Who is seen in the picture? The child will say the horse, but I have explained them that what is main? The person who is riding the horse. Who is seen in the picture? Okay, then that is Prince Arthur. What do you think that includes a king riding on a horse? Means what does it wants to focus on? And when I have given this, of course it is Lipton tea, but the children have also written that it is the advertisement of coffee and tea. Yes, it is correct because coffee is mentioned in that advertisement. How is it going to be? Means it is catering to coffee and tea, but tea is the highlight over here.
It
Tea
is
the main
the tea of, yes, ma'am. It is the tea of the loyalty, royalty. Yes, that is
royalty.
what they are.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Lipton is the company, the brand. So the उनको फिर याद आता है हाँ अभी भी लिप्टन चलता है, तब भी चलता था, अभी भी चलता है, तो वो भी वो रिकलेक्ट करते हैं. Now this is again a normal scenario of the class where a person is a monitor, and I have just asked, in what way is the class monitor misusing his power? So I have got different answers to it. Okay.
He is. Can I answer?
Yes. Yes, Neha, go ahead.
The monitor is misusing his power. He is actually bullying the students, I guess. It can be seen,
Yes,
misusing the
correct.
power like majority.
So what here the child has to do? The child has to read, because to answer this, the child has to read this cartoon or the series one after the other. So he is actually, देखो अगर मैंने तीसरा पार्ट पढ़ा सीधा डायरेक्ट मैंने थर्ड जो पार्ट है कार्टून का पार्ट है वो मैंने पढ़ लिया, then I cannot come to a particular solution. So the child knows कि मुझे पहले से पढ़ना पड़ेगा. So isn't that thinking a small part? क्योंकि वो हम इंस्ट्रक्ट नहीं कर रहे कि we are just giving the picture and read. Okay, so one after the other, and the child is trying to understand, and then he comes with different answers. Bullying, or maybe the monitor is trying to use his authority in the absence of the teacher. Again, this is a farm story. That was civics. First is history, then civics. This is economics. It's about this is about the Palampur village. Palampur, grade 9 mentors will be aware of. It's the economic chapter. There's a story given there. Sorry, a situation given there, not a story, a situation given there, and few MCQ questions. These are not ready-made question and answers that the child will learn and then give the answer. For this, the child has to understand the previous concepts. Again, this is about this is again history part, and it is about the revolution that took place.
Ma'am, it is not clear. Can you make it little clear? It is very blur, ma'am.
Okay.
Sorry,
Yes.
sorry.
Yeah. No issue. Actually, it is a pic, ma'am. I've just pasted it. I'll be putting it in the AIF social science group.
Sure,
This is my PA question paper. So I'll be putting in that. This is just a sample format for it.
Sure, ma'am.
So
I
these
think
questions,
you can zoom also. The participants can zoom, I guess. Especially those who are using the mobile phone, they can easily zoom.
Pin that,
for your
yes.
convenience. Okay.
Thank you, Neha.
Okay.
So these questions may not be there in the textbook or in the reference book. But these are simple paragraphs that are already there. You can take it and frame MCQs accordingly. Or take articles from the newspaper and frame MCQs. It is relevant. Civics, geography का question भी आ जाएगा, एक article मिल जाएगा geography related. See here, as I was talking, competency-based interview questions. These are questions that are asked in UK when a person goes to UK for a particular job. He is being asked, describe a situation which you led a team. Give an example of a time you handled conflict in the workplace. Okay, he's an experienced person. Already he was working somewhere, and then again going for a new job, he is being asked this. How do you maintain good working relation with the colleague? Tell me about a big decision you made recently. It may be personal, it may be professional, anything, because here nothing is specified. What has been your biggest achievement to date? It is an individual's achievement. And there is no comparison. The question is to a particular individual. And the person who is asking the question, there is no type of comparison, because he wants what the individual has achieved. Okay. And how the person is attempting also. Now, I don't remember in one of the movie, there was a question, Sridevi's daughter, she was in the movie, and a person said that jump. She was standing on the edge of the window on the table, and she was asked to jump. Okay, others were very scared. Nahin, sir, hum nahi karenge.
Gunjan Saxena movie.
Gunjan Saxena, yes, thank you, ma'am.
Thank
So
you, ma'am.
what she did is, she jumped on the table, because the thing was, what was asked is jump. It was not specified. So that is presence of mind. You don't know where your students are going to go further. IAS, if you have seen the IAS interview, personal interviews, the questions are so simple. Simple means as per the what the person is, the individual is. और उसका background देख के उससे पूछा जाता है, आपके गांव में क्या होता है, आपके गांव में अगर ये सिचुएशन हो, आपकी जगह पे ये सिचुएशन हो, तो क्या करोगे आप, आपने कौन से यूनिवर्सिटी, आपके यूनिवर्सिटी में क्या है. Okay, so we are preparing the child for that. And what competencies do recruiters look for? These all things, if we look into, we are actually catering into the child. We are teaching from day one. Communicate. The student is talking to the teacher. The student is making a decision. हम कोई काम दे देते हैं, then the child has to decide. We make a monitor, leadership, result orientation. When we give assessment, teamwork, when we give a project between the 4 people, trust, we see whether the person is trustworthy. When we are allocating a work, will he do it? Will he or she be responsible? How to do marketing, commercial awareness, and how to be commercially aware, whether the child is aware of the commercial facts. That is the present scenario. We are developing the child professionally and technical skills. That was all from my side. I'd hand it over to Monika ma'am. Monika ma'am, I'm making you the host.
Good evening to one and all.
Good evening, ma'am.
Thank you, Maulie ma'am, for giving us valuable inputs on how to incorporate competency-based assessment in social studies. We are enriched by your valuable and insightful reflections. Now I'm going to present before you all the online implementation of competency-based assessment. Let me just share my screen with you all. So let us first understand what competency is. When we are talking about the recent times, the emphasis of education has shifted from teaching content to teaching learning skills, because it is imperative to keep both relevant content and life skills for the child to be able to learn as he or she grows up and takes his or her place as a responsible global citizen. We need to first of all plan collaboratively, assess authentically, document learning journeys, and engage families as our classes are now conducted at home. This is the most appropriate time to venture into new ways to deliver the content, organize activities, and celebrate important events virtually to create a favorable, effective learning atmosphere for our learners. First of all, I begin with the first method, that is scaffolding. In education, scaffolding refers to a variety of instructional techniques used to move students progressively towards stronger understanding and ultimately greater independence in the learning process. Let us have a look at the cycle of scaffolding. That is, first of all, it determines the current knowledge of the learner. Then we have to strategically choose tasks for mastery of standards. Support is provided by the teacher. What students can now do with the support of the scaffold? Determine when to remove the scaffold. In scaffolding method, teachers provide successive levels of temporary support that help students reach higher levels of comprehension and skill acquisition that they would not be able to achieve without assistance. Today's students are entering a world increasingly characterized by economic, political, cultural, environmental, and technological interconnectedness. More and more, their lives will be shaped by the dynamics of a global economy. Now, how to implement scaffolding through online platforms? First, we have using discussions forums as a foundation for future work. We need to align discussion questions and prompts with upcoming paper or presentation topics. Students can receive feedback on their ideas and build on them as part of a larger project. Next, we have modeling the kind of participation you want to see. Give students an example of a strong discussion, post, and a weak response. Point out what criteria was either met or missed. Next step is to ask students to engage in self-reflection. It is important to require the students to write a self-reflection on their learning and progress in the course after a midterm. Fourth, creating opportunities for peer-to-peer learning and collaboration. We need to ask students to complete a group activity using wikis or Google Docs. Only then scaffolding can be done. Now here are some of the scaffolding strategies which a teacher can use by showing the visuals and relia, or use a first language, that is the language of the mother tongue of a student. They may read aloud. Modeling and gestures can be used by the teacher. Intentional small groups and partner work can be encouraged. Small sentence structures can be used as starters. We need to connect to the background knowledge of the students, and graphic organizers are the best ways to start scaffolding. The next topic is the problem solving. It is one of the most complex challenges for teams and working groups, which are usually solved more quickly by using a shared collaborative, and systematic approach to problem solving. First step, collaboratively determine what is known and what must be learnt. Let us see, in this, we need to give the context, background, and symptoms of the issue. Once the group has a clear grasp of what the problem is, they investigate the wider symptoms to discover the implications of the problem, who it affects, and how urgent, important it is to resolve the symptoms. Second, introduce and discuss a real-world problem. At this stage, we can brainstorm, interviews, and questionnaires can be given. Here, they are found the problem diagnosed and an initial definition is agreed upon. The problem-solving group begins to explore what has caused the problem. In this step, we will be talking about the different ways in which the problems can be dealt. Develop and articulate a problem statement. Research, analyze, and resolve. Present solutions and supporting documentation. Identify problems. Evaluate the outcome. Let us take these 6 steps one by one. We have already defined the problem and determined the causes of the problem. When we are determining the root cause of the problem, we need to understand that the problem-solving groups begin to explore what has caused the problem. And in this, we can use the fishbone diagrams, Pareto analysis, and affinity diagrams. They play a good vital role in solving the problem. Step 3, we need to generate as many solutions to the problem as possible, because one problem might not have only one solution. It might have alternative solutions as well. This develops the analytical, creative problem solving is all about creating a variety of solutions, finding as many solutions to the problem, looking at how each solution relates to the root cause and symptoms of the problem, then deciding if different situations can be merged to give a better answer to the problem. Step 4, select a solution. This step applies the 2 key questions. What solution is most feasible? Which solution is favored by those who will implement and use it? Next, we move on to the 5th step. And in this step, we need to implement the solution now. Who else needs to be involved to implement the solution? And what are the key achievements of our learners? Now comes the time for the teacher to evaluate the outcomes. Success here relies on implementation process being monitored and data collected to ensure outcome is attained. Set feedback mechanism to ensure milestones are met and
Monika,
necessary work is completed.
Monika ma'am?
Yes.
Sorry to interrupt, but there are many questions popping up. If you can just again take the scaffolding part.
Okay, I'll just take
They want again the brief. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'll just come to the scaffolding part once again.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. These are some of the strategies. Let us first understand what is a scaffold. Just as the construction workers, they make the temporary arrangements for bringing up a new building or constructing a new, maybe a house, or they might use different techniques. They use these bamboos and other things to scaffold. In the same manner, we as teachers also need to inculcate in our learners the scaffolding mechanism, where the teacher plays just a temporary role to just initiate the beginning of learning, and the rest of the activities are done by the learners. Can I move forward to the strategies that we had seen about scaffolding on online platforms can be done, because we are all online these days. So some of the strategies which we can use the visuals and reliers. Maybe our mobile phones can be given to them as a clue. the objects that are there at home, maybe some fruits if we are talking about, or the society if we are talking about, and then we can just give them the chance to speak in their own language, what they see, what is the color, shape of, or what are the qualities of a particular thing that is being depicted. And then whatever the answer is, it is accepted by the teacher. And then the pair work can be started. And finally, whatever scaffold has been given to them, the outcomes can be recorded by the teacher. May I move on further? Now, after the problem solving, we come to another very important topic where we can take, which involves the inquiry-based learning. And this inquiry-based learning is the discovery method. Here again, we need to encourage our students to build the divergent thinking. Here we allow students to find out more information, and they themselves find, because they are curious, so they find a lot of complex questions are put forth to them, and it involves and generates students' enthusiasm at examining issues logically. The process of inquiry method involves identification of a problem, analysis of these information in order to arrive at possible solution, and using the solution to generalize. For example, students can be required to find out the reason for fuel shortage in the country, or power failure, scarcity of some goods, etc. A very desirable aspect of the inquiry technique is its emphasis on the use of higher levels of thinking. Here, let us see how we need to establish content and context for learning, define questions for inquiry and undertake professional learning, apply knowledge to teaching practice through action plans, implement the action plans and evaluate effectiveness of practice, access and reflect. The next topic that I'm going to take, which is very important for competency-based assessment, is possible by using decision-making. What is decision-making? It refers to student-to-student talk with occasional intervention by the teacher. This method involves the use of small groups of students where each group will have a leader who initiates the discussion on the issue or subject matter. It should be noted that the students are more active than the teacher when this method is used. But care should be taken to avoid discussion being dominated by some students. Every member of a small group should be given equal opportunity or chances of making contributions to any discussion. Discussion method can be used for the following topics in social studies, like problems of modernization, living together in our national community, problem of survival, family problems, environmental problems, etc. Let us just have a quick look at the steps for decision making. Again, we need to identify a situation in which a decision is required. Need factual information relevant to making decisions. We need to identify alternative courses of action and predict likely consequences of each. Define the criteria to be met for one of the alternatives to emerge as the best alternative. Make decisions based on the criteria and the data obtained. Take action to implement the decisions. Examine and evaluate consequences. This is how the students can also participate in decision making. Another important feature that we are going to talk about is a very apt and relevant topic that we all educators are looking for. That is e-portfolio. These e-portfolios are an electronic portfolio which is a purposeful collection of samples, students' work, demonstrations and artifacts that showcase students' learning progression, achievements, and evidence of what students can do. The collection can include essays and papers, text-based blogs, multimedias, recordings of demonstrations, interviews, presentations, and graphics. It is digital collection created by a student. It is course-related work, essays, posters, photographs, videos, and artwork. It captures others' aspect of a student's life. So, portfolios are considered as a learning assessment tool. They are used to facilitate documents and archive student learning. It is a learning tool for students to clarify their educational goals, integrate and solidify learning through reflection, and showcase achievements. By having students reflect on what they learned, how they learned it, and how much they learned, they start to take control of their own learning. Portfolios enables teachers not only to observe what students know and can do, but also learn how students learn through students' reflections. Here, to make social science more engaging and a joyful learning experience, we can ask the students to portray their creativity and analytical skills by making brochures. It is a small book or magazine containing pictures and information about a place or service. It enables students to understand the society in which they live, to learn how society is structured, managed, and governed, and also about the forces seeking to transform and redirect society in various ways. It also helps them to appreciate the values enshrined in the Indian Constitution, such as justice, liberty, equality, fraternity, and the unity of the nation. And it also makes them active, responsible, and reflective members of the society. Let us now move on to another very important and engaging activity that can be conducted online to build up the competencies amongst our students. It is, and especially during the time of pandemic, taking our students on field trips is not possible. So we can organize virtual tours for them. Social science teaching needs to be revitalized towards helping the learner acquire knowledge and skills in an interactive session. So we need the social science must adopt methods that promote creativity, aesthetics, and critical perspectives, and enable children to draw relationship between past and present and understand changes taking place in the society. Teaching should utilize greater resources and audio-visual materials. Let us have a glimpse of a virtual tour.
Bonjour and welcome to the famous city of Paris. Today we will see some of the sights and hear about a few events that make this such a remarkable city. First, we arrive on the Ile de la Cité, an island on the Seine. There you will find the very grand Notre Dame Cathedral. It dates back to the 1100s and took almost 200 years to build. It is called a Gothic cathedral, which means that it is the design of the building. The pointed arch over the front doors is one feature that makes Notre Dame a Gothic cathedral. Bonjour.
Another example from Jordan.
Thanks for joining us today as we take a trip to the Amazon rainforest. And get ready to see some exotic plants and animals that you won't see anywhere else in the world.
So, this is how we can incorporate competency, listening skills, and then asking questions where the children will be involved in giving the answers from what they have seen. Now, another important aspect that can be inculcated and included in social science are the speeches of great leaders. Listening to the speeches of great personalities will be of great help for the learners to relate to the causes and effect of a particular period. And it will also, they'll be able to correlate to the features, problems, and the social, political, economical, cultural life of the people. Let us have a few of one of the speeches given by Swami Vivekananda.
Sisters and brothers of America, It fills my heart with joy unspeakable to rise in response to the warm and cordial welcome which you have given us.
Last, we can also, in the end, I would like to conclude with the documentaries. Documentaries about India's freedom struggle and its contributions on various sections and regions shall be studied. India's nationalist movements and its development as an independent nation will be taught in the context of development in the modern world. Issues relating to geography should be taught keeping in mind the needs to inculcate in the child a critical appreciation for conservation and environmental concerns. In political science, the focus should be on discussing the philosophical foundations that underline the value framework of the Indian Constitution. And they should, when we are talking about economics, we should discuss the problems of the masses. For example, poverty and unemployment may be derived from an understanding of the functioning of economic institutions and the inequalities sustained by economic relations. Let us have a look at the documentaries.
Indian National Congress. The 1857 Sepoy Mutiny was...
With this are some of the strategies which can help us to be able to incorporate competency in social science. And now I'm going to hand over to Manasi ma'am to throw some light on the assessment criteria of competency-based questions. Thank you.
Sorry. Mentors, I also have the documentary part, which is available on the Disney Hotstar, which is a free app. Okay, there are like login and registration can be done, but at the same time, if you download the app, you get a documentary, India by Song, in which the Bollywood movie song is played behind the scene, and the whole scenario from that is after independence till today, how the change has taken place in India and what all things, the main parts have been shown. It is very interesting. Even the students like it when they see that. So you may even show it in the class. India by Song. It's a small documentary. It's 1 hour, but the topics, that is, the person is traveling from Delhi, then he goes to Punjab, Rajasthan, Gujarat, like that. Only like parts and parts it has been shown. So you may show it in accordingly. Accordingly, you can show that. Yes, India by Song. Thank you. Yes, Manasi ma'am.
My screen is visible?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Yes,
Okay. Yes, ma'am, it is visible.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
A good listener makes the person who's speaking feel loved, cared for, and worthy of being heard. Thank you so much. Thank you for being so patient and listening to us. Thank you, my panelists. Thank you, AIF. Thank you, Matthew, sir, for giving us this opportunity to share our ideas, share a very important topic, that is competency-based assessment. Today, I will share ideas, or I'll share about assessment consisting competency-based questions. Now, assessment and evaluation are an important part of every teaching learning process. The purpose of assessment is not only to carry out assessment of learning, but also to focus on assessment for learning. I repeat, the purpose of assessment is not only to carry out assessment of learning, but also to focus on assessment for learning. Everyone remembers the fast facts, the mathematical formulas, periodic table. lengthy multiple choice exam questions that are quizzed on remembering content, committed to rote memory. But competency-based assessment is definitely not that. It is an opportunity created for students to apply the skills and methods that they have learned in their lessons to real-world problems and situations to determine if they will be able to, or if they are able to synthesize, apply, and evaluate their learning in a purposeful way. So as we have the assessment consisting competency-based question, the new evaluation pattern or for the session 2021 is completely based on competency-based. That is on the knowledge, skill, and abilities of our children. So we have to promote their performance improvement rather than simply measuring their performance. And for that, though my co-panelists, they have already discussed about what is competency-based assessment and how to implement, how to inculcate in social science, I will just discuss the key points very quickly. Now, developing competencies for holistic development of learners. For this, we have to shift our focus of assessment from rote memorization, as I told you, formulas, periodic table, and many questions. Our children just mug up, but then we have to change that. We have to change the strategy. The shift will be to focus on assessment from rote memorization to more regular and formative assessment. Purpose of assessment will be to optimize learning and development for all. Use of artificial intelligence to track growth of children through their school years based on learning data and interactive questionnaires. As Maulie ma'am said, we have to make the questionnaire. We can make a Google form and we can question them. After every chapter, why don't we give them a exit card? That what do you think about the chapter? How do you feel, or what you would have done if you would have been in this situation? We can give them an exit card and then they can put that exit card in their portfolio. Examination in grade 3, 5, and 8. The base is very important, we all know. And so NEP says that we should have assessment in these standards, standard 3, standard 5, standard 8, to find out their core concepts and knowledge, whether it is clear to them or not. Because the foundation years are very important. Teachers to be trained on latest pedagogies, adaptive assessment, and competency-based learning. Yes, we all are taking enough of trainings from CPSC sites also. Okay, so then now what is competency-based education? Competency-based education is the need to develop skills and competencies among learners to respond to the real life situations, unfamiliar situations. Competencies to be defined in a curricular areas for effective learning, and not only curricular, but also co-curricular activities. Promotion of life skills, which are very important with curricular goals. Now, how to implement it? How to implement competency-based curriculum? Will it be only in our curricula? Only the competency-based will be designed in our curriculum? No, it has to be in the co-curricular activities as well. It should be the curriculum, syllabus, and textual materials to present content and competencies in an integrated way. Teachers have to undergo well-planned training for adopting pedagogies for competency-based learning. Before, it used to be lecture method. We used to give lecture on the topic, then we used to discuss the questions, probable questions on that topic, and then it was all the students' work to learn and revise and read. But now we have to change our strategy. We have to explain it. We have to find out whether they have understood or not, because competency-based is more outcome-based. So getting learning outcome is also very important, for which we also need to have very crisp or very clear objective, that what exactly we are assigning this activity for, or this topic. From this topic, what do we want the children to learn? So this is also very important. Assessment practices to develop parameters, rubrics for assessing competency-based learning. Yes, setting parameters or rubrics, again in the objective if we put it, then we also have to see after the activity or the project whether really we have achieved that or not. So we will get our learning outcome, and as well as we will make our children ready for the real life situations, as NEP stresses on. Learners to be assessed on the basis of competencies like ability to reason, critical thinking, values, attitudes, concerns, etc. So these I will discuss in the later slides. Now, in the light of National Education Policy, Central Board of Secondary Education has made some changes in the assessment pattern of class 9 to 12, and being the progressive and the largest board of the country, with its proactive approach, they have increased the weightage of competency-based assessment in our curriculum to gauge the real understanding and application of the subject in the real life. Now, on April 22nd April 2021, CBSE came up with a circular, Assessment and Evaluation Practices of the Board for the session 21-22. And in this, the move was towards competency-based education and competency-based assessment. Now, what exactly they want? What is the minute? What is the main objective of this, or what was in this circular? In this circular, the NEP 2020 states that while the board exams for grade 10 and 12 will be continued, the existing system of board and entrance examinations shall be reformed and redesigned for holistic development. Now, it has affirmed, National Education Policy 2020 has affirmed the need to move from rote memorization skills to competency-based learning. Focus on developing the creative and critical thinking capacities of student. Equip student with the ability to solve problem, as my co-panelist has already discussed all these. Promote learning and development for our students and test their high order thinking skills. High order thinking skills. Hence, the question papers will include a greater number of competency-based questions or questions that assess the application of concepts in real life situations. So now, in this same circular, CBSE has also given us a conceptual map of examination format and the content area represented for assessment. Let us check that out. In the same circular, CBSE has given us this conceptual map of how the assessment will be and on what content area. So if you just check for class 9 and 10, the year-end examination or board examination, that is theory examination, 2021, the existing system was objective type question, including multiple choice question, 20%. Case-based, source-based integrated questions, 20%. And short answer, long answer questions remaining 60%. But this is modified. But it is modified to for 21-22. Please note, for 21-22, this pattern or this system is changed. It has been changed to competency-based questions 30%. Please note, competency-based questions would be 30%, which will include multiple choice questions, case-based questions, source-based integrated questions, or any other types. Objective questions will be 20%. Objective question is not included in MCQ or competency-based question. Objective questions will be 20%, which I'll discuss. And remaining 50% are short answer and long answer question as per existing pattern. Now, this is for 9 and 10. For class 11 and 12, again, year-end examination, board examination, the theory examination, the existing pattern was objective type question including multiple choice question 20%, case-based, source-based integrated questions 10%.
Mansi ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Sorry to interrupt. We have only 10 to 12 minutes more to go. So
yes,
probably we may even focus on the competency-based further in a detail.
I'll go fast, ma'am. I'll go
Thank
fast.
you, ma'am.
So for this existing system has changed to competency-based question 20%, objective type question 20%, and short answer, long answer type question 60%. Competency based will again include the same as class 9 and 10, multiple choice, case study, and source based. I'm sorry, I have to go a little fast. Now, in short, you can see it is 30%, 20% in class 9 and 10, competency and objective, and short answer type question 50%. Now, you may ask question that, ma'am, this 30 plus 20 makes 50, and this is 50, 100 marks, but we make paper out of 80. So it means 20 marks is there for internal assessment. This is 30% of 80. That is 24 marks will be competency based questions. 20% of 80, that is 16 marks, will be objective type questions, and 50% of 80, that is 40% will be short answer, long answer question, 40 marks. Now, if you just see here, focus has now shifted from content to competency. That is from rote memorization skills to competency based high order thinking skills of our students. By high order thinking skills, what do I mean? I mean this, to develop the high order thinking skill among the students, along with competency, as discussed by my co-panelists. They have to remember, understand, apply, analyze, examine, evaluate, and then join all the pieces to make it a whole. Then to create new idea by understanding, applying, analyzing, evaluating. Not only this, NEP 2020 also emphasizes on high order thinking skills with life skills, which are very important in the 21st century to overcome, to face the 21st century challenges. And they are like self-awareness, empathy, critical thinking, creative thinking, decision making. We all know about life skills. We have done. We were very much into life skills from years back, right? So we also have to work on these along with competency. Now, when we say competency-based questions in class 9 and 10, and we said it is 30%, what will it include? It will include multiple choice questions, case-based questions, and source-based integrated questions, right? So that is 30%, which is included in competency-based questions. Now, objective, as I told you, it is objective type questions are not included in competency-based questions. It is 20%. So what is this 20%? It can be MCQs, true, false, fill in the blanks, define, identification. We may give the features of crop and they have to identify the crop. Picture-based question, animated question, like Maulie ma'am has already shown, the animated, the cartoon questions in the book. The data analysis, in economics, we can give data analysis, even in geography. One word answer, assertion reason, something new for our students, which we need to train them, and match the following. So objective type can be in any form. And the last 50% is short answer, long answer type questions, which can be 3 mark or 5 mark question. Now, case-based, as I told you, few things are new for the students. Case-based question. Ma'am has already shown case-based question. It can be a hypothetical story, fact, situation, or it can be very factual. Now, it can be Bhopal gas tragedy, and then they may give you a few questions on that. Source-based questions are very much seen passages from the NCERT book. So they should be very thorough with the textbook. And important is the questions may or may not be directly related to the concept. They may give you a passage on globalization and ask question on foreign trade. Related concept, but the passage may not have this word or the link. But it has to be done. So the concept should be very clear. NCERT books should be very clear. Then assertion reasons, again, we have to train them. Children get confused by reading these options. So we must tell them that read the assertion, read the reason. If both are correct, then check whether reason is the correct explanation of the assertion or not. Then you will be able to answer. So we have to guide them. We have to train them. I'm sorry, I don't have time. Otherwise, I took example also to explain. And then another circular came up. CBSE has sent another circular on 5th July, in which no need to worry. We are still sticking on to competency-based assessment. Only the scheme, only the way the evaluation will take place has changed. So by this circular, academic session is divided into 2 terms with the bifurcated syllabus, which will be sent by CBSE to us. And of course, the CBSE will also send us sample papers, question papers. That's why we don't have a question sample here. And school will continue teaching in distant mode till authorities permit person in mode of teaching in school. Now, in this circular, term 1 examination will be organized by CBSE, where it will be flexibly conducted between November, December in a period of 4 to 8 weeks. But the focus remains on competency-based assessment, because the first term will include MCQs, including case-based assertion, reasoning type, case-based questions, source-based questions, which will be 90 minutes and further on 50% of the entire syllabus. Second term to be held between around March and April 2022. Again, competency-based with different formats: case-based, situation-based, open-ended, short answer, long answer questions in 2 hours, and that again 50% of the entire syllabus. So 2 boards in a year, November, December and March, April, with bifurcated syllabus. Of course, the CBSE has also given 3 situations. Depending on the situation, they will have offline or online exams. Now, internal assessments are given importance. Like internal assessment of class 9 and 10 will have 3 periodic tests: student enrichment, portfolio, practical speaking, listening skills for literature, a subject, project work. These should be given importance even for class 11 and 12, and also for class 11 and 12. And school has to maintain a digital record for this, which is very important. Also, as CBSE has taken this move to that step towards competency based, towards high order thinking skill questions, towards application based questions, it is indeed a step towards holistic development of children, which will not only develop them their life skills and their creative skills, but also will make them ready for 21st century challenges and will help us achieve the Sustainable Developmental Goal Agenda 2030. So I would like to end here with this: words may inspire, but action creates change. Thank you so much for watching and listening to our presentation. If you have any question, please feel free to ask. Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm so sorry for going so fast.
Anyone? Any doubts? We are there to clarify.
Hello.
Yes.
Actually, it's not a question. I have a request. Can we in the future, in the days to come, can we do the similar kind of thing for political science and legal study? It's not a question, it's a request from my end.
We will try, ma'am.
Thank you.
Actually, our second session that we are planning, of course, this is the thing that has been motivated by Matthew, sir. We are going to take the methods of teaching.
Okay.
Different types of methods. Like what all things in every class, like as I being a mentor, how do I teach? And some are the specific methods of teaching in social science, or you say political science, or you say economics, like that. All the in subjects, the whole social science subjects will be taken in.
Yes, yes, ma'am, because in political science, we already do that, like cartoon-based questions and case study, source-based. It is for many years, it has been aligned with the competency way of teaching and learning, but we need to put little more focus on legal study because it's something like you do it right or do it wrong, right? So it's a humble request my end, if we can in the days to come. Thank you.
Am I pronouncing it correct? Rumni ma'am?
Yes, Rumni. Yeah.
Okay, I'll just give you a brief, give a quick idea that I have done with political science. One is I have interviewed a MP of my city, that is political parties, where I have framed questions and I have shown it to my students, online session. One that, and the other one is I had a visit to the court.
Okay.
That is judiciary again, which is part of democracy, which is part of government, constitution, everything. I have taken a round of that, and I had a talk with the district judge also, and showcased all the actual court, how the actual court looks like. Okay, which gives a clear concept of the judiciary part, and then we can take it to the democracy also, like because constitution it is framed in, it's a part, judiciary is a part, if we know that. So like that, these are the two ideas just
Thank
now
you
I can
so
give.
much, ma'am, for your suggestion. Thank you. Appreciate
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you.
Any question?
Good evening, all. I'm Mrs. Jayanti Rajagopalan from Qatar. It's very nice interactive session, such a good insight on social science. Really excellent explanation was given. But only thing, my observation as a kind of request, you should please extend the session hour so that we can, where we need to focus it and try to concentrate the concept. That time it is moving little fast. Understood that time limit, because of time limit running around, understood very practically. But keep in mind, when you are planning the next session, can extend a little more hours, and where you need to deliberate everything, and we can get away all things also. Thank you so much for this opportunity. Have a safe time. Thank you.
Hello. Good afternoon, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Good afternoon.
It was a very interactive session that way. Thank you so much, ma'am, for enlightening us.
Myself, through my side, I maximum try to forward it. 13 people also attending here from here.
Yes, thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you. Thanks for your
Actually,
lovely presentation.
Apologies, if you can just pass it on to your colleagues that the limit was 100. Actually, this ID was paid one with 500. I was in the notion, and all of I have, from where I had taken the ID, it was a paid one, but it somehow
went
to 100.
Understood, ma'am.
And
Understood.
so I had to keep the limit also. Otherwise, we had planned in such a pattern that should go beyond it. And this is not a topic.
It has it has its own.
Taught in brief.
Yes, understood. It has its own so many other untold factors inside. I am also heading the department. We used to conduct so many number of seminars and also practical issues understood. But when you are coming into that prepared and delivering everything, it should reach everyone. That kind of thirst I have. It should reach everyone. That is the only.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Thanks.
Good evening, ma'am.
Very well explained session, ma'am. And I would personally will be requesting if you can share some more feedback on assertion reasoning questions. This is something where I feel that students need a little bit more guidance.
Yes, ma'am. They really need.
Ma'am, from my side, I can just put in my periodic assessment papers of 8, 9, 10, where I have source-based and MCQ assertion-based questions. Especially for 9 and 10, I have the assertion questions in that. And 8 also, the source-based questions. So in the group, I will be just now forwarding the question papers. So that will be a sample to
Ma'am,
all of
basically
you.
the idea of framing.
Yes,
What
yes.
what the idea we should keep in mind.
Exactly.
That is the idea.
And
Ma'am,
even
just
the reference book
Easy.
shall be available, like all-in-one, the Oshual. They all these publication actually publish these types of questions once it is the month of October, November. You will have on these stores, bookstores, these publications which will come with all type of competency-based questions, because it has been implemented this year. So by October, November, it will be on the stores. And ma'am, we have pasted the link for the certificate. You need to click on the link. Tanvi ma'am, please again put the link for those who could
Yes,
not
yes,
receive.
ma'am. I'll just put on the link. Just 1 second.
excuse me, ma'am.
Yes,
Ma'am, just wanted to inquire that whatever resources you would be sending, would it be in the social science group or the CBA group? Because
both
now
group,
we are a
ma'am. Both
part
I will
of-
put in both the groups, ma'am.
Okay, thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you.
you.
And it was an
Yeah.
excellent session and a great
Thank you.
effort and teamwork. And we all rocked. And I hope we make our students rock as well.
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Ma'am,
Ma'am,
excuse me,
can I
ma'am.
ask a question, please?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, ma'am, I'm Mrs. Madhu Mohan, ma'am. Ma'am,
Yes.
can you please share the link for different websites, like, which were being, the resources that were being shared, like for documentaries and especially for social science, all the things that ma'am has shared with us?
Definitely,
If it
ma'am.
can be
I'll put it in
done.
the group.
Sure.
All the links from. Yes,
Because
I'll do
that
that.
will be very helpful in making our, teaching of social science more interesting for our students.
Yes,
That
and
is
one
there.
link has already been forwarded. That is the Hotstar app, which we can easily download on the mobile, or we can open the website in the laptop. And in that, India by song or many such topics are there. India by song is something where history is there, civics is there, even economics is being looked into, and civics, geography part also.
And ma'am, some sources for, junior classes from 6th to 8th also, if they can be shared, because for 9th and 10th, there's so much available. Like you said, and there's I Succeed, they have already, introduced the new pattern, because I was taking 9th and 10th. So that is there, the source-based questions, everything is there. Like teachers can use that, ma'am. And you can order it online from Amazon. I got it from there only. So that can be done, ma'am.
And ma'am, for 6, 7, and 8, Diksha app is very much there.
Yes, ma'am.
Which is
Diksha.
very useful.
You can see videos, and there are so many short questions, long questions, MCQs, which are concept based. So you can go through that. It's a very beautifully, they have represented everything.
Ma'am, can you please repeat?
Diksha, ma'am, for 6 to 8, you can just download the Diksha app from Play Store.
Yeah,
it is very
that one,
helpful. They
Yes,
are
ma'am.
they have actually given each and every type of questions, short, long, MCQ pattern, which is only based on the CBSE education pattern. So you can take
Not only
help from
that,
that.
ma'am, even beautiful videos also they have
Yeah,
shared.
yes.
That is really helping for especially 6th class children to understand concept very clearly.
Yeah, yes, we
It's
have
really
comic
helping
strips
this,
also.
Disha.
We have comic
ma'am.
strips also there
Yes,
of
ma'am.
different
Yes, ma'am.
schools. Oh, yes.
Thank you.
can go
Thank you,
through
ma'am.
that.
Thank you, team
Welcome,
of
ma'am.
you.
And thank you so much,
nice,
everyone.
very informative. Thank you very much. Looking forward for such other sessions also. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for your cooperation.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Ma'am, I'm unable to log in with the attendance. Please, can you help me out, right?
Maulie ma'am, a small
Yes.
doubt.
Yes,
I've already
ma'am.
filled my form, but I'm unable to get the certificate, ma'am. What is the best way to
Okay.
get my certificate, ma'am?
Ma'am, you
This
are
is-
there in the CBA group?
Yes, ma'am. I'm there in both the groups, ma'am.
Okay. Can you text me personally? Then I can put the link for you in the WhatsApp group.
Sure, ma'am. I do that.
Yeah. Okay. Then once again, let me see. What is
Ma'am, you
the
can
Yes.
The
Yes, Neha,
teachers
ma'am.
who are not getting the certificates on mail, you can check the spam also, spam folder, because at times so many
Yes, correct.
circulars, they are circulated at one time. So there might be spam folder. You
Okay,
can
ma'am.
check.
I'll check it
Ma'am,
right
please
now.
Just
check.
in spam. Yes, ma'am.
Fine, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay, Matthew, sir. Sir, you're not audible.
We can't hear you, sir.
We wish to hear you.
Yes, we really want feedback from sir.
I think some network issue. Not audible, sir. I think he's logging in from mobile. Shuja ma'am, can you tell me in which group you are? Are you in any group of AIEF? Any subject group? Okay.
I have pasted the link in the group to join the
Can you hear me
workshop.
now? Hello?
Yes, sir. Now you're
Yes, sir, we
audible.
can hear you.
I don't know, something set it with wrong with the, I just had to take out my mobile. But anyway, thank you to all the resource person who took out. It was a long session, but at the same time, I could see participants staying till the end. So that shows that the webinar was super successful and so many questions were there. Only one request, I think in the chat, many people were asking that they want to be part of the group because many of them may have got the links from their friends. So
Yes.
ma'am, you can put the social science group links or the webinar groups so that, they can join you next time also. Because
Yes,
we
sure.
couldn't unfortunately fit them all into that group as got limitation of 250 people. So
Yes,
maybe
sir.
we can accommodate them into our social science groups or webinar groups. Any of the links I can forward to you if you don't have the link. And you can forward it in that group so that, the people who want to attend more can join us later.
Yes, sure, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. So
Thank
thank
you.
you. Yeah.
Thank you,
sir.
Thank you, Matthew, sir.
Maulie, ma'am, small request. Just now in the the AIEF social science group, I gave my mail ID.
Yeah,
Can you
sure.
please send me the link, ma'am?
Yes, sure, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you,
And
Matthew, sir. Very informative. Thank you very
ma'am.
much.
And one request to the participants is do not send this link to the groups because we are giving the participants only the register, the certificates are being given only to the people who attended. So kindly do not put these links in any groups. If you don't receive the certificates, you can message one of the resource persons personally and you will get it. So don't worry about that.
Sure, sir. Thank you, sir.
So we can call it off.
Yes,
Everyone,
ma'am.
thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you
All
so
the
much.
Thank you for your support.
Thank you so much. Maulie ma'am, thank you everyone. Thank you Neha ma'am, Monika ma'am, Matthew sir.
Thank you, Manasi ma'am, Neha ma'am, Maulie ma'am.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Matthew sir, for always guiding us and supporting us. You are a great mentor for all of us. Thank you.
Thank you.